What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be playing our daily challenges, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to kick it off with Wordle, of course, and we're going to send chart through because it's our go-to word. Yesterday, I mean, it was a pretty good word. We got a bit unlucky with our other guesses, but anyways, today it wasn't a great first word to go for. That's okay. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. Let's go with drive. Or maybe, let's go with, let's go with drive. I kind of didn't want to go with drive because the V's a pretty uncommon consonant. I don't think there's a better word with this IE combination. D's a pretty common consonant as well. Let's just send drive through. What? What? Are we serious? Okay. If we do not get in 3 guesses, then, well, I don't know what. It must be diver then, right? Surely it's diver. Let's go for diver. It's got to be. Okay. Okay. Whoa! Our second guess was fire. Our second guess actually clutched up. On our current streak has now bumped up to 6, which is pretty good. On our way hunting down that max streak of 8, very close, very close to getting there. And then that pushes our guess distribution, or at least for 3 guesses, that pushes it up to 8, which is pretty good. Oh, what? I didn't pre-play this, by the way. I absolutely did not pre-play this. Drive was like, okay, oh my god. Look, this kind of rage baits us because, you know, it's literally so close to the word, but it's literally, it's not the word, right? But, okay, alright, we'll take it. 3 guesses, oh, that's pretty good, I can't lie. I am satisfied with that. I am very satisfied with that. Like, oh my god. Whoa, I'm still in, like, disbelief right now. I'm still trying to understand what just happened, but yeah, wow, 3 guesses. Okay, hopping into today's Geo Hunter daily challenge, and we have a pretty interesting mix of categories here. Donkeys, dairy production, least English percentage, natural disaster risk. Interesting. HDI, tourism, longest serving head of state. Banana export. With longest serving head of state, I did say that I was going to study that category a little bit. Haven't done that just yet. Okay, but anyways, we're going to kick it off with Belgium. Belgium is, I imagine HDI has got to be up there. Tourism, probably not. Tourism might be a hit or miss. I guess, like, Belgium, like, surrounding countries such as Germany, France, Spain, the UK, they're pretty touristy countries, so maybe Belgium might be up there, because it's obviously really close to those countries. Longest serving head of state, it's a possibility, I'm just really uncertain, of course. And then, like, the rest of the categories I don't think are great options. Least English percentage, I assume Belgium's not bad with their English. Donkeys? Nah, surely not, right? And then dairy is it donkeys percentage or just, yeah, most number of donkeys. And, well, Belgium's probably not dairy production either. So, I am digging a HDI. Or maybe, should we go for tourism? Nah, let's, you know what, we're gonna switch it up. Let's go for tourism. I think tourism's a pretty good pick for Belgium, so let's go with that. Okay, maybe it wasn't tourism. Tourism, for Belgium was 35th, which is pretty bad. The UAE. Okay, so for the UAE, least English percentage, it's probably not least English percentage. I don't think it's donkeys. I don't think it's dairy production. I don't think it's natural disaster risk. HDI, I guess, it's probably up there. Longest serving head of state, and then banana export, probably not. So, let's go for HDI. It's not least English percentage. Nah, come on, surely not. I know they, I think they speak Arabic there, but they're kind of bilingual, I'm pretty sure. The UAE has a lot of signs in English and whatnot, so let's go with HDI. Yeah? Yeah, let's go with HDI. It was number 15. You know what? I'll take that. I will take that. Tonga. Natural disaster risk, I guess, because there's probably a lot of cyclones. It's in the Pacific, right? And they have the wet season there during, I think it's like around December or so. And like they're on the equator, pretty much. And there's a lot of cyclones and tornadoes, whatever. Those sorts of weather events around the equator. So I'm digging a natural disaster risk. I don't think it's... Ooh, nah, surely it's not banana export. No, surely not. I don't think so. Longest serving head of state, no clue. I don't think it's Tonga. Let's go with natural disaster risk. Let's go with... It was 100+, so it was definitely not natural disaster risk. Yeah, today we're not doing great for today's daily challenge. Denmark. Denmark, let's donkeys. Okay, Denmark. Should we skip Denmark? Because I think Denmark would have been one of these categories in the HDI or tourism, one of those two. I don't think it's longest serving head of state. It's not a good pick for Denmark. Banana export, nah, I don't think so. Least English percentage, probably not. Dairy production, nah, I don't think so. And then donkeys. Let's use our skip for Denmark. And what do we get next? We get Ireland. So it's definitely not least English percentage. It's probably not banana export. It's probably not longest serving head of state, although I have absolutely no idea. Let's go with donkeys. Yeah, why not? I don't think it's dairy production. No, might not be. Let's go with donkeys. It was definitely not donkeys. Norway would have been fantastic for HDI, let me tell you that. Instead, let's go with longest serving head of state, because that's probably the best pick out of our remaining 4 categories that we have. It's number 8! Okay, I will take that. Russia. Okay, Russia, least English percentage? I think it's probably up there. They speak, obviously, Russian in Russia. Don't think it's dairy production. I don't think they have many cows up there, and even if they do... Nah, surely it's not Russia. It's not banana export. Let's go with least English percentage. It was number 7. Okay, we'll take that. India, banana export, surely. I imagine dairy production is pretty reasonable for India as well, but let's go with banana export. It was number 10, okay. We're gonna take that. And then Turkey for dairy production. We got no other category to go for, so let's just go with that. It was number 8! Ooh, not bad. Yo! We actually didn't do too bad, you know? 283, that's actually not bad, considering we were doing, like, absolute trash in, like, the first 4 guesses. Our first 4 categories that we picked were atrocious, so, like, I'm pretty happy with a 283. Yeah, the target was 97. We went 186 over that, so nearly triple the target. But no, look, 25% accuracy, considering we've absolutely fumbled the first 4 picks. That's not bad. I'm actually, like, it's not great, of course, but, like, I'm pretty happy with our performance, especially towards the end. Taking a look at the perfect solution. So apparently Belgium was number 7 for banana export. Wow. Okay. Fair enough. The UAE for tourism. Yeah, I can see that. I can absolutely see that. The only issue was we already picked tourism for Belgium, so we couldn't pick tourism for the UAE. And then Denmark for HDI. Yeah. Again, we already picked HDI for the UAE, so that was already blocked out. Ireland for dairy production. I think we were like, discussing between dairy production and donkeys. We made the stupidest call and went for donkeys instead, so... It is what it is, I guess. We learn. We live and we learn. Norway for longest serving head of state, we nailed that. Russia for least English, we nailed that as well. Although for those 2 picks we were a little uncertain about. But it's okay, we'll take it. India for natural disaster risk. That makes a ton of sense. That absolutely makes a ton of sense. And then Turkey for donkeys. Number 37th. Wow, alright. But that was a perfect solution, so... Yeah, well, it definitely is the perfect solution. We kind of locked ourselves out from it because we chose categories way too ahead of time. But nah, guys, come on. Yes, we kind of choked at the very start, but we clutched back up towards the very end, and I guess that's what matters. Staying persistent, staying resilient, sticking to your gut, sticking to your guns, and really trying your best. Time for today's global, so let's go ahead and start off with Italy, our go-to country. So 3,830 kilometers away. Now that's interesting. So it's probably not in Europe. That's my first take of the closest border and the information that we have. I am digging probably somewhere in Central Asia. Maybe like a Kazakhstan. That might be about 3,000 kilometers away. It's a bit far, but I think that's probably 3,800 kilometers away. So maybe in that case we go for something like Uzbekistan or Turkmenistan or something in Central Asia. Otherwise, it might be somewhere here towards this part of the Gulf. We have Oman, Yemen. I think they're possible picks as well. Then we get to Africa. It's got to be somewhere in very central to maybe slightly southern Africa. So I'm thinking of a Democratic Republic of the Congo, or maybe a Rwanda, Burundi. Kenya's probably a good shout as well. I think the best pick, the best shout to go for is probably somewhere like Yemen. I think Yemen's probably a good shout because, hear me out, if we go for something in Central Asia and it ends up being in Africa, it's probably the country that we guess in Central Asia is further to the mystery country than it is to Italy, right? If the mystery country were to be in Africa. And in that case, that doesn't really give us a closer border, so we have less information to work off of. You see, this is the strategy that you got to employ when you're playing global. And we shouldn't go for a country in Africa. It's a bit of a gamble if we do, but obviously we're just very uncertain right now with 3,830 kilometers away. It's a hard to estimate distance to a lot of countries. So let's go with Yemen. Send it through. Whoa! 40 kilometers away. Okay, that's good. That is good. So I'm thinking probably something like Somalia is probably too far away for 40 kilometers. I'm not entirely sure where Somalia's border ends. I'm going to assume it's here. In that case, we should go for... What's this country? This country is... Eritrea. Eritrea might be a good shout. I'm pretty sure there was another country here, though. Let's go with Eritrea. Yeah. Let's go with Eritrea. What was the other country here? I remember there was another country here. I'm just thinking. I'm just forgetting it. Nah, you know what? We're sending through Eritrea. If it's not Eritrea and it's some other country here, then it's a bit of it's shambles. But let's just send through Eritrea. Okay, all right. Well, yeah. There wasn't. There was another country here. I'm forgetting that country. That's the bad thing. That's the bad part. At least Eritrea is adjacent to the answer, so we know that it's this country right here that I am forgetting. Unless it's Somalia. Nah, it can't be Somalia. I don't think Eritrea borders Somalia. So let me think real quick. I know there's a country here, but I'm forgetting its name. We're gonna get that country. We are definitely gonna get that country. Oh, Djibouti. How could I forget about Djibouti? Okay, it's at least 4 guesses. It's at least 4 guesses. That's not terrible. How did I forget about Djibouti? I know. Oh, what? Of course it was Djibouti. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Djibouti. Actually, you know what? Eritrea looks like it might have been 40 kilometers away from Yemen as well, so... Nah, okay, Djibouti... Yeah, that's fair enough. It's my fault for forgetting about Djibouti in the first place. Otherwise, we would have sent through Djibouti. I knew that there was another country here, and it would have been that country. I forgot what it was. So that is a bit of a misplay from my end. But look, okay, four guesses is pretty decent, I would say. You know, our average guesses is still 3.87, which is pretty strong. Yeah. Okay, and we're going to finish off with today's GeoGrid. We have another GeoZ update notification. We're going to dismiss that. Maybe we'll check it out in another time. Anyways, so we have area greater than 200 square kilometers. Oh my god, I can't even speak. Population over 2 million. Land border length less than 2,500 kilometers. Okay. Flag with only 3 colors. Has a metro system. If English as an official language. Okay. Okay. So, we have some pretty interesting categories here, I would say. Let us go with... has a metro system and area greater than 200 square kilometers. That should be the easiest category, I would say. There's obviously the US, there is China, there's Japan, there's a ton of countries, like the UK. Is the UK over 200 square kilometers? I imagine it is, right? Yeah, those countries, they all have pretty well-known metro systems. I think the US is probably going to be the most commonly guessed. Otherwise, it's going to be China. I'm not sure if the UK has an area greater than 200,000 square kilometers, though. 200,000 kilometers, that's 200 by 1,000. Is the UK 1,000 kilometers in length? I would say so. I would say so. Anyways, regardless, I think we should just play it safe. You know, the past few GeoGrids, we haven't been able to actually finish the grid, right? We want to finish the grid at least once. So, let's send through answers that we are certain of, and in this case, China is definitely going to satisfy this square. So let's go with China. It was a rare country to guess. That is crazy. Okay, fair enough. Area greater than 200,000 square kilometers, and a flag with only 3 colors. Interesting. So, immediately, right off the bat, I am thinking of, obviously, Australia's a pretty good pick, but I think we can go a little more obscure than that. A little more obscure. I am thinking of, well, Russia would work as well, but how about Chad? You know, that might be a pretty good country to send through, because here's the thing. We get 10 total guesses, so we can get away with 1 wrong guess. And I think Chad would be a pretty uncommon country that people would guess. So let's go with Chad. I'm pretty sure their area is greater than 200 square kilometers. Otherwise, yeah, that's not great. Their flag is definitely only 3 colors. So let's go with Chad. Okay, it's the same rarity as China. Okay, we'll take that. And then here we go. English as an official language and area greater than 200 square kilometers. So, probably Australia is definitely going to be a great shout. The US, I imagine, is going to be the most common guess for this square. Are there any other better... Ooh, India. Yo, India's probably a better shout, because India is an official language in... English is an official language in India, right? It is, surely. Let's go with India. India was okay, 7.1%. That's actually higher than I thought. I thought people would miss that. Okay, that's fine. We have this column out of the way, done and dusted, and we still have 7 more guesses. We haven't gotten a wrong answer yet, which is pretty good. Now here we go. Population over 2 million, and a flag with only 3 colors. Okay. I am thinking of, how about a Romania? Romania surely has a population over 2 million, and, well, their flag looks pretty much identical to Chad's. I think it'd be pretty funny to send it through. Let's go with Romania. Yeah, look at that. Pretty much the exact same flag, except I think the blue's has a slightly different tint. Anyways, Romania was a pretty good shout. Let's go down now. Population over 2 million and has a metro system. I'm thinking of a Singapore, you know? That might sound a little bit crazy, but I'm pretty sure Singapore has a population over 2 million. Yeah? Yeah! And they definitely have a metro system. So let's send through Singapore, and yeah, it was a pretty good country to pick. Population over 2 million and English as an official language. Singapore would have been great for that. But it's okay. Singapore was still a good pick for this specific square, so we'll take it. Okay. Population over 2 million, English as an official language. See, I'm trying to think of, like, really uncommon countries. How about Hong Kong? Hong Kong might not be a bad shout, you know? English is an official language there, I'm pretty sure? Surely, right? And then their population, I think it's over 2 million. Let's go with Hong Kong. Yeah? Yeah! Yeah! Okay, that was pretty good. Now we're just down to one more column. Guys, we're doing pretty well today. Whoa, we gotta keep this going. Land border length less than 2,500 kilometers, and a flag with only 3 colors. How about Luxembourg? I think that's a pretty good shout. Let's go with that. Yeah, okay, it was a pretty common country to guess. I can see that. I can see that, though. Land border length less than... Oh, Singapore would have been fantastic for this. Well, we're in the mud now, aren't we? Yeah, we're in the... Oh, wait, the UK works because it's land border less than... Or even Japan. Japan works. Yeah, okay, I panicked for a second because I thought it was border length less than 2,500 kilometers. Nah, it's just land border, which actually clutches up a lot. Japan would be a fantastic shout. Is the UK a better shout? Nah, let's go with Japan. This guarantees us that we're going to get the square correct. So let's go with that. It was 4.1% only? That is crazy. Land border length less than 2,500 kilometers, and then English is an official language. Obviously, the UK would be a fantastic shout for that. Let's think of something a little bit more in-depth, I would say. Like, a little more obscure. I'm pretty sure we can come up with a country that is better than the UK in terms of rarity. So, let's have a little think. Ooh! Philippines. Philippines has got to be a fantastic... Let's just go... 0.5% guessing that. Guys, whoa. Whoa, guys. Okay, for a start, we finally got the entire grid completely solved, which is obviously something that we didn't really manage to do previously. I mean, yeah, like, rank 720 out of 3,020, that's only the top 24%, which is still not great, but, guys, that's still not bad. I think it's pretty good. That's if we look at the board insights, guys, whoa, it's finally good to see us, you know, being up here for a change. Woohoo! I think, yeah, if we guess something a little better than Luxembourg, we would have gotten a fantastic score, I reckon. Yeah, I don't know why we went for Luxembourg. We should have gone for another country for this square, but it's okay. Let's take a look at our answer details. So, the most popular for... Oh, for this one it was Russia. Now, that's interesting. Okay. For this one, it was France. Really? I thought it would be the US. And then Canada for this one, English as an official language and area greater than 200,000 square kilometers. Canada? Really? I thought it would be the US. Okay, fair enough. And then for this one, France, Ireland. So France is appearing 3 times today. Okay. For Luxembourg, this was the most common pick for this square. So yeah, we didn't cook too well for this square, but that's okay. Ireland, yeah, that makes a lot of sense for these 2 squares. Yeah, okay. And then Singapore for this one. We did like we called it out when we were up to this square, but we already had Singapore guessed in the middle square, so we avoided guessing the most common country for this particular square, which is pretty good. Looking at the least popular options here. Oman! Whoa! That's a pretty good cook. I can't lie. That's a cook. Iran! Oh, that's an even better cook. Wow. Fair enough. Iran would have been fantastic. Yeah, look at it. Look at its flag. It's only got 3 colors. I will keep that in mind. Tokelau for this one. Okay, fair enough. Ecuador. Ecuador has a metro system. Really? I did not know that. And their area is greater than 200,000 square kilometers. Fair enough. Okay. Philippines for this one and for this one as well. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. South Sudan. Oh, they have English as an official language. Fair enough. Okay. And then Vanuatu. Whoa. English as an official language, and their land border length is definitely less than 2,500 kilometers. Fair enough. Okay. Let's look at all the answers then. I'm pretty sure a lot of Pacific Island countries would be up here. Yeah, look at that. Samoa, Tonga. A lot of them were up there. Philippines was surprisingly low, to be honest. Philippines is pretty low. Curacao? I thought Curacao was a Dutch overseas territory. Okay, never mind. Yeah, fair enough. Alright. Whoa, that is... We don't even have a wrong answers tab because we got all of our answers correct today, which is pretty good. Yeah, wow. Okay, a lot of answers for today's GeoGrid, which is completely reasonable, because I think today's GeoGrid was actually pretty good. It was pretty easy. And then, do we have any achievements? Peak performance. My best square beat 79.8% of GeoGrid game players. Which square was that? Do we know? It shows it right here. It's the bottom left one, which was the Philippines. Okay, fair enough. Did I say bottom left? Bottom right one, which was the Philippines. Top brass. I scored better than 76.2%. Okay, that's pretty good. Dynamic duo. My top 2 squares beat. Alright, that's pretty good. Top tier tactician. Okay, that's pretty good. Yesterday we did score better than 50%. I think, although, like, very barely. And then 4 days straight, which is pretty good. Woo! Okay, not too bad. Today's GeoGrid was fantastic, I would say. But what else was fantastic? Today's daily challenges. Okay, maybe besides Geo Hunter and probably Globle as well. Today's Wordle was pretty good, though. Guys, that's where we're going to leave it off for today. As always, the links to Wordle, Geo Hunter, Globle, and GeoGrid will be down in the description for you to check it out. Go ahead and have a play. It's a ton of fun and an absolute blast. But anyways, that's where we're going to leave it. Yeah, I will see you all in the next one.